If you want to learn how to market your home service business, then stick around for this podcast.
Thanks for joining the Home Service Podcast. On this podcast, I help home service professionals to avoid bad marketing mistakes by providing the tools and the resources to help you build your own lead generation system so that you guys don't have to depend on other home service lead generation companies. So, if you guys are a home service professional, pay attention. I am your host, Mario James.
Welcome to this podcast, the Home Service Podcast. It's all about home service professionals, and I just want to take this time out to welcome everyone who is here for the first time. This is episode 1 of many, and I know that this podcast will bring a lot of value, especially to home service professionals who are struggling to get business, who are spending money on getting leads from other home service lead generation reseller companies, and those who are just wanted to start out and to start out the right way, on the right track, and to avoid all the mistakes that other home service professionals have made. Now, I am just the man behind the home service marketing business. So what I do is to help home service professionals to avoid bad marketing. Now, there are many ways to market online, and I have tried so many ways. I have failed and I have lost money learning from different ways, different methods, different strategies, different systems, and it all boils down to one thing. Marketing is very simple, but it's just that we complicate marketing, and one of the reasons why we end up complicating marketing is because of something that is called shiny object. Shiny objects are things that distract you from your main goal, from your main objective. So as a home service professional, your shiny object could be, a course that teaches you how to build home service business in one week, and some of these claims are very impossible. They are not logical. Other things can be like tools, latest softwares, and stuff like that. But the thing with shiny objects, they look very good, and once you try them, once you invest your money and your time in trying to get the result and the promise that they made, you only realize that they are no good after you have wasted your money. But that's my advice: be very careful of shiny objects. Avoid these at as much as possible, especially if you're just starting out. Please avoid these things. Now, marketing boils down to one basic method, and that's lead generation. But in order for you to generate leads as a home service provider or a home service professional, you have to do it the right way from the beginning. And I have seen home service professionals win at marketing, and I have seen a lot who failed at marketing. So I want to get into the basics of marketing your home service business, and the basic boils down to this: 1, get listed on Google or the major search engines. 2, build a very high performing, high converting website. And I know that may sound technical, but it's not. You will see as we go along how simple this can be, but your website is one of the main assets here. After you build a website, then you focus on SEO and content. Build content. This is how you're gonna get in front of all your ideal clients who are searching for you, whether this be video or whether this be through blog articles, stuff like that. So when building your website, you have to keep SEO in mind. What is SEO? SEO is just simply building your website to match Google criterias. So you're building a website in an organized way so that the search engine can show your website to people who are looking for your solutions. So that's number 3. And the next one is sales. Sales. Now this is the one that most people are afraid of, and the reason why, because people are scared of hearing no. But if you have your process organized, and if you have done all these 3 things properly, then sales would be just a walk in the park, because you have already provided value. And I'm going to show you why people come to Google and they are searching for your product, your service, and how you can benefit from these search engines. Now first, let's talk about Google listing. Google listing, what is known as Google Maps or Google My Business, it should be the first thing that you consider when starting out as a home service professional. And here's why I said that. You don't need a website at the beginning if you're just starting out. Once you're listed on Google My Business, then it is easy for customers who are searching for your service to find you. And Google My Business or Google listing is a very powerful tool, and it's a reason why Google provide this tool. Now if you do a search on Google, and you will see 3 types of results appearing. The first result is where the Google ads will appear. So it's that little section at the top where you see 1 or 2 or maybe 3 different ads that are showing up, and they have this little icon saying ad. So it's easy to notice, and people pay money to be on the top of Google, and this is called pay-per-click. So each time somebody click on those ads, then these people pay Google for each click. Now one of the biggest challenges I see for home service professionals is they are investing money on these huge home service lead generation companies to get leads. But what these companies are doing instead, they are actually competing against you who are paying them for leads. So these companies, if you do a Google search, you will notice that most of the companies that appear on the top, both in ads, which would be the first search results, and in organic search, you will find that most of them are home service lead generation companies. And the best way to avoid this kind of competition is to create a Google My Business listing, because these companies they cannot beat you locally. And remember, you are a local business. It is very hard for these companies, these corporate companies, to beat you at the local listings. And if you notice, they don't appear in the local listings. These companies spend millions of dollars just to be on the first page of Google. And the problem is, when they generate the leads, you are using their service. They are sending that same lead to at least 3 or 4 other contractors in your field, and what you have going on is a tug of war between you and maybe 3 or 4 other persons calling that lead. And sometimes, no wonder why these contractors complain that the leads are no good, or the leads ghost them, or the leads don't answer the phone. It's just because the leads are getting so many phone calls every day from different contractors. The funny thing is that some of these customers, they are not really ready to buy. Some of them are just looking around, but the moment these lead generation companies capture their leads and they charge a bank account, and then they send the lead to you and the other professionals within the platform, then you find out that it creates a really tedious environment to work in. It's almost like you're still in a rat race. But in order to avoid this rat race, you have to first build your Google listing, build your Google My Business listing. And the great thing is that these leads that are coming from your Google list things is these are leads that are ready to buy. These are more high quality leads because they're intentionally taking up the phone and calling you, and you are to ensure that you're always available to answer these phone calls. And what I recommend is use a different number from your business or personal number. Why I say that? Because when somebody calls from Google listing, you want to be sure that this is the number that they are calling. You want to have a separate number so you can identify when a lead is calling from that particular area. The idea is to just be known, is to just be seen, is to just be available so that people can know that yes, I'm in business. Because most of the time there are home service professionals who they are not really showing up as if they are hoping for business, and they find out that they may lose out on these opportunities. So Google Map listing, very powerful tool. I think you guys should make sure you utilize this tool at your best advantage. We don't know if Google is gonna keep this tool free forever. It may not, but please make use of that. I'm gonna wrap up this podcast for now. This is just the first episode. In the other episodes, in episode 2, I will be looking at the Google listing a bit more in depth, and then we move on to your website. After that, we go into SEO and marketing. Thank you guys for sticking around this far. I really appreciate you guys being on the podcast. If you know anybody that this information could be useful to, share this podcast, subscribe on my YouTube channel so that you guys can get notified on the next episodes, and I will see you guys next time. My name is Mario James. Talk soon.